This is Tony Chimmel, and I'd like to introduce the hosts of the Game Marks podcast, George Feis and Johnny Clash.
Welcome to the Game Marks podcast, where each and every week we take a deep dive into the good, the bad, and the awesome of all things video games. I'm the man they call Johnny Clash.
And I'm George Feis, and today we're playing Fire Pro Wrestling 6, Man Scramble for the Sega Saturn. We also discuss more of our experience with WWE 2K25 and a whole lot more.
And please subscribe and leave a 5-star review for this podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and follow us on all forms of social media. And of course, if you leave those reviews, you will be entered to win a wrestling figure from WrestlingCollectorShop.com, and we will announce that shortly. George, how are you doing?
Doing good, man. I feel excited about today's game. This is a game that we have been wanting to play. It's been on the list basically since day one of the podcast. We're finally getting around to it. I feel like it's also been a while since we've played a Fire Pro game. I feel like that's not true. I know that we played one a couple of weeks ago, but I don't know. Every now and then it's fun to go back to the franchise that we have played so many times over and over again on this podcast, because now that you are on Team Fire Pro, the experience is a lot more enjoyable.
Even after 5 years, we still say now I'm on Team Fire Pro, even though it's been years at this point.
But it's nice that you enjoy the games too.
Yeah, we'll get into that in just a little bit. Let's talk about last week's game, King of Colosseum 2. Now, I gave it the old future endeavor. I wasn't, not that I didn't like it. I liked green and red, I think, a little bit more because, you know, they were new, they were fresh, there was expansions to it. It was just cool. This one was a good game. I just had no use, I think, to play it again in the future.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from with that. That's a fair review. It's not I don't know. Your reasons are valid, and it's not like you're not just like, oh, the game's not for me. It's not this. It's not that. It's just there's other games that we both played it forever for the first ones, right? I do believe we touched on last week. So, you know, the saga continues. We keep moving forward. And now we're jumping back into Fire Pro again today. But before we do that, have you been playing some WWE 2K25? And if so, what has been your experience so far?
I have. I've been doing the showcase mode. I did some on stream. I did some off stream. I'm going to do some more tomorrow night on stream. And I'm enjoying it. I didn't think I would. I didn't like the matches. But even like I got to 3-minute warning versus AOP, and I was like, this is so stupid. But then I remember it's a video game, so it's going to be fun regardless. And every single Samoan that you get to play as in this game, whether it's Rosie, Jamal, the Head Shrinkers, Rikishi, have such good movesets. High Chief Peter Maivia, even. Great movesets that they're so much fun to play. I did Umaga versus John Cena. I didn't want it to end because Umaga was just so much fun to throw people around and like thrust kick them.
I haven't dove into the showcase mode yet. Like I've been saying, I'm giving my fair shot at my faction for this run of the game, which honestly, pretty fun. Enjoying it so far. I think the most frustrating thing for me is that you're kind of stuck with the same lineup for a little bit, but it's not horrible. It's not the worst thing. You just you adjust, and as you play the different modes within, you get more content and persona cards that's always fun to unlock. You have to put a lot of time into it. I haven't unlocked any yet, but I see that they're there.
Yeah, so we got the Deadman edition, so we did get the Undertaker, which I was disappointed the pack was only one Undertaker, and then we got the Wyatt 6. So I started it on stream to play my faction. I went through the whole process. I made the faction. I opened the cards and all that. I got to the point where it's like, all right, you're free to do what you want. And I was like, I'm going to go play Showcase. I don't feel like doing this. It's a mobile game within a console. And to me, I would play my faction if I was on my phone sitting up in bed. But like, I'm not going to sit at my PC right here and play my faction.
I will say this. I know that a frustrating aspect of the previous year's games with the Persona cards was the process of unlocking them. I know that many were behind either a luck of the draw or paywall aspect. I do believe that playing through the world tour part of my faction, you can unlock a couple of them. I haven't unlocked any yet, but I do see that they're there. I think there's a Punk one. I think there's a John Cena one as well. But they're there. And I'm sure that there are still some that are locked behind that paywall or that luck of the draw, which, may be your cup of tea. But for this year's game, it actually is kind of fun to be able to play through this world tour mode and unlock the games, the Persona cards that way.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm ever going to play it, but there's just so much in the game that you can play. I can't wait to get into My Rise mode. Maybe I'll do a little bit of that tomorrow night also. But I'm enjoying just even going into matches and playing through the WWE archive. I put out some videos on that. It's a lot of fun. You could jump off the fist. You could play with Triple H's boots. You could go through the barbershop window. And I mean, you could go through it. I did 2 random. So I was Kofi and I was against Carmella, a dream match on anybody's card. And all I did was suplex her near the barbershop window, and her foot went through it and broke it. So I think that's something that needs to be worked on. I would have liked a little push shove or something. I don't know. But I'm enjoying the game. It's a lot of fun. I can't wait to see what else comes next, some more DLC and all that. So let's get it.
This is always like the fun time. The new game's out. It's always exciting to see what changes they make, what updates they make. And then, of course, like you said, next couple of months, all the DLC rolls out. It's a good time. It's always fun. And yeah, I'm excited to see what other things. I know that they're going to try to be a little more, or at least that's the perceptions, that they're going to be a little more active with the updates, and it's not just going to be bug fixes and stuff like that. Like there may be some content down the road as well. So we'll see what happens, but very excited to see that. But John, are you ready? We're inching closer and closer to that diving board, John. Are we going to take the plunge? Are you ready to do this week's deep dive?
Let's go 6-man scramble.
Looking to add the newest wrestling figures to your lineup? There's no better spot to pick up your next figure than the Wrestling Collector Shop.
Started by collectors for collectors around the globe, Wrestling Collector Shop has been serving the fans the latest and greatest in wrestling action figures since 2002. So the next time you're looking for the newest wrestling collectible to add to your collection, make sure to go to WrestlingCollectorShop.com and use code GameMarks to save yourself 10% on your order.
That's 10% off your order with code GameMarks at WrestlingCollectorShop.com.
As always, the deep dive is brought to you by our friends over at Wrestling Collector Shop. Make sure to use code GameMarks to save yourself 10% over at WrestlingCollectorShop.com. And compliments of our friends over at Wrestling Collector Shop. We're giving away a figure, John. What figure are we giving away this week?
All right, this week we are giving away... I have to keep it down because the box actually doesn't stand very well. But it is an Ultimate Solo Sokoa. This is actually really nice. It's got everything. It's got everything. All you have to do to win this is leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, screenshot it and send it to us on Twitter, X, whatever the hell you want to call it. Last week's winner who wins the CM Punk figure is Chris Clegg. And he wrote, never played this franchise before, but that actually makes it more fun when listening to you all review it. I like going in fresh with no previous knowledge or opinion, and you do a great job at explaining everything in detail. Still binging on old episodes while keeping up with new ones. One of my favorite podcasts going. I'm actually watching this episode again on YouTube on St. Paddy's Day, 5 beers deep. So hopefully the spelling and grammar errors are kept to a minimum for this review. Thank you, Chris Clegg. Reach out to us, and we know where to get that for you. So,
Thank you very much for that review, Chris.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, let's go. All right, Fire Pro Wrestling, 6-man. So this is the other thing that's very tricky. I feel like for the length of this podcast, we've always referred to it as Men Scramble. It's not. It is Fire Pro Wrestling 6 Men Scramble, and it was released December 27th, 1996. It is for the Sega Dreamcast, which is crazy because this is not a console that we have been able to visit often when it comes to wrestling video games, so kind of cool to be over here today. Developed and published by Human Entertainment. Other notable games in 1996. You've got New Japan Pro Wrestling Tokan Retsuden, WWF in Your House, Fire Pro Wrestling Iron Slam 96, Super Fire Pro Wrestling X Premium, Jikyo Power Pro Wrestling 96 Max Voltage, Champion Wrestler Jikyu Live, and Jin Pro Interactive Pro Wrestling History, which I do believe is just an interactive history game, which is not technically a wrestling game, but it is like a click-through educational thing, which is kind of neat.
I'm looking up Jikyo Power Pro because we played that one.
Yes, we did.
That game was something. But yeah, what a year.
Played everything except for Jin Pro on this list.
Yeah, and I think we're good. I think we're good for now. Yeah. So yeah, Fire Pro Wrestling. Back to the Sega Saturn, 160 wrestlers, same all Fire Pro that we always know and love, same way the matches work. Now, there's a little something in the Did You Know that does set this one apart from the others, and we'll get to that when we get to that. But this is cool. This is a cool one. You have Victory Road, where you can go for the HWA Heavyweight Unified Single or Tag title, the Junior Heavyweight title, same, singles or tag, the HWA Unified 6-Men Tag Team Championships. And once you win any of these, you get title match unlocked to also play. Now you also have your one-night match, which is your exhibition mode, as they like to call it, one-night match in every single Fire Pro, I think. Open League, which is a point-based tournament that we know and we love. One-night tournament, which is single elimination. The 5-on-5 elimination match, which we do pretty frequently. Also, we do pretty frequently the Battle Royales, last man standing matches. Those are a lot of fun. Death matches are new to the series. Gruesome Fighting, which is the MMA mode, we also we enjoy that one also.
For a long time, the run through of the Fire Pro games was you do the one match to get familiar with the style of that game, then you do the death match, the Gruesome Fighting match, then you end on the Battle Royal. But as we have gotten better at playing the Fire Pro games, those matches have tended to go longer and don't play very nicely with the YouTube algorithm. Therefore, I don't think that we're going to be posting any more 45-minute Fire Pro Wrestling tournaments.
Why not? You know, one thing I do like to do, and I would like to bring it back to stream maybe one night, is go through Fire Pro Wrestling and just set up like dream tournaments and just play them out.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how entertaining that is, but I am entertained by it. So maybe.
Are you saying to play through them or to do just like watch how the computer
plays through them? That is so boring to just watch. I can't do it.
I don't know. Some people have whole leagues that they go through that way.
I just can't. I can't just sit there and watch a game like that. I mean, I guess I sit and watch people play games all day.
It's basically Twitch streaming anyway. Before Twitch streaming.
I'm good. You also have your edit mode, which is a fan favorite mode that everybody knows and loves from Fire Pro Wrestling, where you create your wrestler, and you even have 44 exclusive slots here. So this is pretty massive. This is a lot. And there are a lot of wrestlers that you can add to these slots. So if there's someone not in this game, most likely from this era, they are in that edit mode. So that's pretty cool. Now, this roster's massive. We said before, it's 160, wrestlers plus
it's
those creator wrestlers. I chopped it down. We got the notables here. So we got New Japan Pro Wrestling. We got the real names. We're not going to go by the fake names in the game, what the parodies are. You got Antonio Inoki, Kaiji Muto, Shinya Hashimoto, Masahiro Chono, Jushin Thunder Liger. All Japan Pro Wrestling, you have Mitsuharu Masawa, Toshiaki Kawada, Kenta Kobashi, and Stan Hansen. Your international, which are the WWF and WCW, you have Hulk Hogan, who is funky looking in this game, Randy Savage, Sting, The Undertaker, Vader, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair, they're all there. Hardcore deathmatch icons Atsushi Onita, Terry Funk, and Cactus Jack. Now, Lucha Libre, I thought this one was pretty cool. You have El Hijo del Santo, Rey Mysterio Jr., and Psychosis. And you could check our playthrough on YouTube, Rey Mysterio versus Muta. that Rey Mysterio is a beautiful little sprite.
That was a pretty good rendering. I mean, when you think of the size of the wrestler sprites in some of the Fire Pro games, and I feel like we've always said this, the level of detail that they're able to capture in such a small space, and how detailed they can get with people's masks and their face paint, like the Rey Mysterio one is right up there with some of the best.
Yeah, it was nice. It was really nice. Even though he was like yellow, you could tell he was wearing gold. Like it was just designed very well. Your shoot style in martial arts fighters, you have Masakatsu Funaki. I was so good until that one. Minoru Suzuki and Bas Rutten. And of course, there are many others. These are just the notables. I mean, Tiger Mask is in there. Eddie Guerrero's in there. They're all in there. This is a really good game. Really good roster.
Yeah, what'd you say? It was 160? Good Lord.
160, yeah.
I mean, this is not the largest Fire Pro Wrestling roster, but it is up there. And when you compare that to some of the 2K games, what did we say for 2K24? It's like 300 something.
Yeah. 2K24 roster.
It's like half of that.
Let's see. Let's see. That says more than 200. Let's see 25. I think there was even more.
I feel like recently we said it was like 6. One of the games that we talked about, maybe it was when we were talking about 25, it was like 300 and something wrestlers available. I was, whoa.
Yeah, 300 plus. That's insane. I wonder why my load times are crazy on Steam.
It's wild.
But let's talk about the artwork here. One thing we don't see often is that Sega Saturn like disc spine.
Yeah, it almost caught me off guard because, like you said, it's not something that we've seen often on the podcast, and I don't know about you, I'm not super familiar with the Sega Saturn.
My cousin had it, and we never played it because I feel like they had 1 or 2 games for it, and that was it. So we never touched it.
This artwork here, if this is what they, this is right in line with all the other Fire Pro games, but this particular artwork lends itself to that gold bar on the side of the Sega Saturn, because, man, oh man, this is up there with one of the cooler Fire Pro covers. You got a massive clothesline and a back suplex happening right on the front cover. It is very comic book, anime, manga style, and yeah, it tells it's at least some sort of fighting game.
And then you got the little flaming text, so it's Fire Pro. But let's do what we normally do. Let's pull out that translator for the back here. Translate. Google Translate. All right. It's not the greatest quality, so let's see if this works. Okay. The top line says, "Burn your fighting spirit." That sounds painful. The first real-time 6-person tag battle in a wrestling game. What the hell is all this little text? The number of wrestlers is 135, the most in the series. Each wrestler is equipped with over 50 different techniques. Okay, so 135, and then the 44 in the edit mode brings it to... Okay. The wrestling edit function allows you to create your own original wrestler, and in addition, you can play against your friends in tag matches of your own original wrestling match. That doesn't make sense. Thank you, translator. The latest and strongest series title is coming to Sega Saturn. Cool.
And of course, all the
screenshots,
Sega Saturn information, how many data blocks it takes up, all the copyright information, all that, fun stuff that they always have at the bottom.
We took data blocks for granted. Memory card blocks, all that. How many things I had to remove from my PlayStation and my GameCube to make room for new stuff. And now, I'm doing the same thing on my on my D drive on my PC now. So Guardians of the Galaxy,
changed the
never played that
terminology.
one. Yeah.
It's still a memory card. It's just a slightly larger memory card that lives inside of your tower.
Yeah. Pretty cool. Even back then, everything just still stays the same. I've been thinking about that lately. How time is just a big circle. We just all go back. Did you know that they now make...
Oh, I already know what you're going to say.
I don't think you do, because it's a child's toy.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say the thing that they released for the AirPods.
Oh, no.
Have you seen the thing that they released for that? There's an accessory that you can buy for your AirPods that is 2 pieces of string.
No,
that
come
you
on.
can put around the base of your AirPods so that when you're not using them, you can hang them around your neck. And I was like, we have come full circle. We're now attaching wires to things that are wireless.
No, they make this, it's pretty much a box now. and you buy a Disney character and you put it on top of it, and it plays the songs from that character.
Oh, isn't that like the WWE Activity Rumbler game? It's like that same kind of technology.
It is, but
wasn't there a Spyro game that was like that?
A cassette, or like I don't know, a Yak Back or hit clips. Remember those?
Oh
a
yeah,
CD?
hit clips.
Like what happened to Bluetooth? We're going backwards a little bit. I mean, it's a cool toy. My daughter's probably getting it for her birthday, but still.
Do you think what happens is it's kind of like that same thing that happens with what they say about like toy nostalgia is that people remember the toys that they had as a kid and then they want to rebuy them to collect them as adults? Do you think it's that same kind of thing with technology and people who make toys? They know the toys that they loved when they were kids, but now they work for toy manufacturers. They are toy manufacturers. And they're like,
the Tony Box, yes.
Technology has advanced so far. I loved the Yak Back or whatever so much as a kid. What does a Yak Back look like now with these leaps in technology? And then you end up with the... Yeah. Or is it the Tony Box is the thing that you were thinking of?
Yeah. That's
so then, yeah, someone who loved the Tony Box and then all of a sudden...
Tony Box is the thing now.
Oh, Tony Box is the thing now.
Yeah, so I'm saying like...
Hit clips is the thing from back in the day.
Yeah, we're pretty much going back to like cassettes and stuff.
So that's what I'm saying. Like,
but not really. It's kind of cool, I guess.
You have hit clips. Someone who loves hit clips now goes, I bet we can do that same kind of thing with modern technology and it'd be such a better experience. And then that's how you get the Tony Box.
I'll show you what it looks like. I mean, it's a cool thing. It's just like, why don't we just have Bluetooth speakers?
This may be the wildest tangent that we have ever gone on this podcast.
It's like the end of Toy Story. What was it? 3 when Andy gives away the toys. Sorry for the spoilers for people who haven't been alive for the past 10 years. He gives his toys away, but he sits there playing with them. I mean, life goes full circle. Like my daughter now has my toys. I'm going to play them with her.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how we got from Fire Pro, the back cover, to this.
Well, we were talking about memory cards and the memory block information, and then that spiraled into you cleaning hard drive space and how technology is cyclical.
And that's my tangent, and I'm going to die on that hill. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, let's talk about the actual artwork for the CD because it's few and far between that we get to talk about this. Most of the time, it's just an exact replica of the cover or what?
The CD looks a little funky. What is that?
That is the Tron, like the Tron above the ring.
Is it?
That's what I thought it was. I thought that was the big center like screen that hovers above the ring, and then the glow on the bottom is the ring.
It looked a little sus to me. It looked to me like I don't know if you're going to get this reference, and we're going to go on another tangent, I guess.
Well, let me see if I can zoom in on this. And
it was something like the Typo Negative slow, deep, and hard album cover.
Yeah, I think it's either the screen above the stage or above the ring, or it's a part of the stage.
I think I see that now. Yeah, it does kind of look like a Jumbotron.
Because I definitely see the railing and I see the spotlights, and I think that's the screen with the six men scramble on it, like the logo.
Either way, looks pretty
Tangent
bad.
City.
I kind of don't like it, to be honest. But then again, we're in the monochromatic Sega Saturn CD era, so
yeah.
That's what we get.
It's a good use of negative space, which is what a lot of companies did back in the day. You do a one screen print, and you let the reflectiveness of the CD itself shine through.
True. But let's talk about the actual graphics here. It's very animated. It reminded me a lot of the Game Boy versions of Fire Pro, like that colorful and that animated. It's shocking to see it in this era, but then again, you're on CD. There's more limitations. You could have more colors.
This feels like super arcadey to me. Like that's what this read. This was like,
very
it's a
bright
home console release, but the exactly what you said, the brightness and the level of like saturation for some of the characters, lime green trunks or the Rey Mysterio, how gold he was. Like that is like over the top, super arcadey, super cartoonish, and I don't know. It was a different presentation for Fire Pro for sure than I think what we're used to and what we've talked about in the past, but it wasn't bad. Like I wasn't.
No, not at all.
No, I actually think it worked.
Yeah, I think they all work for what they're on. I mean, they all look the same, to be honest. But this one just had that, like you said, arcadey, like brightness to. There was no dull color anywhere. Like sometimes the crowd or the outside of the ring could be a little This one was full blast from start to finish.
Like you could drop one of the Ninja Turtles from the arcade machine.
Absolutely.
The arcade game in here, and like color palette and the art style would almost match seamlessly. The scale would be off, but color palette and the artistic style is very, very similar.
Oh, look at this, George. I scrolled down. We have a picture of the matchup screen where it shows who's fighting that night. So once you pick your wrestlers, it goes to the screen. It's got the two sprites squaring off. This is the background of the CD. It is a Jumbotron.
Hey, look at that.
Yeah, good job.
Hey, I had a feeling that that's what it was, because I feel like they've done something like that in the past with other games where they show the Jumbotron or some aspect of the stage, because I always feel like that's and we've seen it with how far it's come with Fire Pro Wrestling World now. I say now, it's been out for
very long time,
several years, but it's the most current iteration as of this recording. So it's the current representation. But you see how far that's advanced, where at a certain point you're able to take control of the entrance, and you tried it in our playthrough. Maybe you didn't hit the right button sequence, and maybe it is in this game, but in World you can hit a button and control the entrance, and now we've seen what you can do kind of similarly to that now with the camera angles in 2K25. Everything is cyclical. Everything comes back, and we always find
it's
things
a full
coming
circle
back.
episode right here.
That's it.
Do you see this though?
What is that? What is that?
Did you know? Did you know Fire Pro Wrestling 6-Man Scramble was the first game in the Fire Pro series to feature 6 wrestlers in the ring simultaneously, pushing the Sega Saturn hardware to its limits?
Did you know that this game is currently on eBay from anywhere between $10 to $30 used and $80 new as of this recording?
Damn. I mean, that's not terrible if you're a collector. And I wonder what it would take to play a Sega Saturn game from Japan on your Sega Saturn from America.
I mean, sometimes there's very minimal like modding or efforts that need to be done, and sometimes it's as easy as removing a clip or like a piece of plastic that would otherwise block the connection from happening. And then in other things, it's like you have to remove the whole like lens eye reader from your like PS1 and replace that. Like I remember back in the day, that was like the big thing on all like message boards and stuff like that, where it's like if you wanted to have a modded PS1 flash the software on the Xbox, but you would have to physically take the casing off of the PlayStation 1, remove the CD reader eye and replace it with a different one, and like in some cases like resolder stuff. It was crazy. I knew people who bought them, and I know people who tried to do it because I guess for certain people it looked like it was easy, but like we were kids. That's like that's like huge levels of knowledge that you have to be able to like solder and have the knowledge on how to do it. And some people did it, and some people bricked their PS1, and it was not a good time for them.
Yeah. But let's relax. Let's sit back. Let's have some R&R, some ratings and reviews. Are you ready for this? We have the game FAQ user rating.
Okay.
On average, 4 out of 5 stars, which is considered great. Difficulty, 3 out of 5, which is considered just right. Length of hours played, 48 hours, which is the full 5 out of 5. So it seems like overall, people like this game. People like this game. Not too difficult. 4 out of 5 is pretty good. It was up there with the Fire Pros, so let's see. Let's go back up. I'm going to go back up for 1 second. So at the time, we also got New Japan Tokan Retsuden 2 for the PlayStation, with Iron Slam 96 Fire Pro for the PlayStation. So Sega Saturn's making waves here, but then for the Super Famicom, you're still getting Super Fire Pro Wrestling X. So this series is pretty loaded this year, so it's pretty cool that it got such a good rating.
I think it's always so funny to look back and see how all of the Fire Pro games compare to each other, because I feel like every generation of people who have played Fire Pro have their Fire Pro games. Like, for some people it might be World, for some people it might be Returns, for some people it might be the older games, for some people it might be this one. It might be Men Scramble is their favorite Fire Pro game. And I always feel like once, at least from the people that I have seen that talk about and are passionate about the Fire Pro Wrestling series, once you have your Fire Pro game, you tend to stick with that one, because you invest so much time in it. The edit suite, the character creation, like, you put so much time into it that you're just like, no, this is exactly how I want this game to be. Everything is set up perfectly. There haven't been major leaps and bounds from the one that I like to the one that's out now. So I always feel like anytime you talk to people who feel very passionately about Fire Pro, that's always something along those lines.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, like, what is... I guess Fire Pro World would be mine because it's the most current and what I came into the series on, where we have played so many, and we're going to tally, I think, and see how many we've actually played. We've played so many.
Only missing,
if you name
maybe
one,
4.
Yeah, but if you name one, I cannot tell you what it is unless it's Return and World or something that sticks out.
What about Iron Slam?
Is that the 3D one?
I'm pretty sure. I want to double check.
Yeah, that one sucked, and the Xbox one sucked, but other than that, they're all
Iron
so
Slam
similar.
96 is the 3D one.
They're all so similar, but also if you were to say, let's play Fire Pro S, I'd be like, okay, because it's going to be something and it's going to be good.
Yeah, man, there's been so many. I'm like looking at a list of them, and there are just so many of them.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But we got the rating from the professionals over here, the users of Game FAQ. Now it's time for our rating, because it is time to rate the game.
The game!
All right, John, you're going to kick us off. Fire Pro Wrestling 6 Men Scramble. Are you going to give it a play it forever? Or a future endeavor?
This is a tough one, because pretty much what I just said, you could pull out any Fire Pro and say you want to play it, and I'd be like, all right, yeah, no problem. I don't know if there is enough to differentiate this one from the rest of them, but I did very much enjoy playing it. I liked what it looked like. I liked the art style. Something about it, and graphic designer term, we hate this. Something about it popped out to me. Whether it was the bright colors, I mean, looking at Rey Mysterio's gear, I was like, damn, this one's pretty nice. I'm gonna say play it forever.
Okay.
But there's a good chance that I never do. If that makes any sense. And we got Tecker here coming into the chat. He says Fire Pro is the Dudley Boy family of gaming. There's too many to name. Can't wait until you play Sign Guy Fire Pro. Good one.
Right. All right.
All right, George. And what about you? Play it forever, future endeavor.
Yeah, I'm kind of right there with you, man. Like, there's something very familiar about how this game plays and the controls, and it feels very Fire Pro-esque because it's a Fire Pro game. But there is that factor of, it's hard to come up with a better word than what you said. It pops. The color pops. It's a bright and interactive. We use the term arcadey. It feels very similar to all the other Fire Pro games, but it also has a presentation of something that feels, I don't know, maybe like a little bit more advanced than I would expect for 1996. Like, this, I almost say kind of feels more in line with what you would expect from World presentation wise. Like it's the bright colors, it's the full entrance, it's the the little animations of the sprite, like Muda doing the mist. Like it all looks very clean and super colorful for 1996. And yeah, I easy play it forever for me as well.
All right. Cool.
But hey, as always, if you have played Fire Pro Wrestling 6 Men Scramble, you can let us know your thoughts on this game on social media at GameMarksPod. But with that, John, I see you're taking a sip of water. Of course, I'm going to ask you a question right at that moment. Are you ready to get into this week's Soft Lock?
You're just like my dentist. Let's go.
The Soft Lock is the segment on the podcast where one of our mega marks from our Patreon gives us a topic to discuss, a question to answer, something to debate. It's a question of the week with a fancy name. And this week it comes from the man in the chat, Mr. Sean Tecker. And Tecker's question is, with the news that Game Informer is coming back, is there still a place for gaming journalism with the advent of streaming and all of the presentations that happen on a yearly basis? We don't have search for gaming. We don't have to search for gaming news as hard as we used to when our only source was a monthly magazine.
So that's today's news. Game Informer is officially back. Old staff, they've all returned. They were all gone last year when their parent company closed, but they are officially back. There's definitely still room for gaming journalism, and I'm so happy to see Game Informer being the one to come back because I don't really agree or like the way IGN rates games lately. Like, say WWE 2K25, for instance. The whole article is saying how good it is and how much of an improvement it is from 2K24, but they still gave it the same rating. Still an 8. What will warrant a 9 in their case? I don't know. So really, they're the only ones, or at least the only big name around right now. There's a bunch of others, but having Game Informer back in the mix is pretty cool. But I'm interested to see what else they do. It can't be a monthly publication because the news just travels way too fast. So it has to be articles. It has to be this and that. Maybe they will get into the what's the word? Like doing shows and all that and showcasing games. So I don't know. I'm interested to see. I always like Game Informer. I always love getting those monthly.
Oh yeah, same. I think they're, like you said, I think I'm just going to build upon what you said, because I agree with what you said about how things have gone more digital and that, things are article based and stuff like that. And I think that there's a happy medium. You can make video content, you can post articles, you can have your name still be the name that is recognized as, for many years, an industry leader in game reviews and news and things like that. But adapt with the times and still be successful. And then maybe at the end of the year, you do one release, one printed release that is like, your Games of the Year edition or something like that, with printed articles, screenshots of the game. Maybe you include like a poster print or something. But, you do it 1 year or one printed release every year, and you make it feel special and you make it important so that it becomes like a collector edition, but it's not, sold like a collector's edition. It's just like your homage to everything that was released over the course of the past year, but then still, paying tribute to your roots of being a printed publication.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited to have it back, and I can't wait to see what it does. So I'd love to talk to some friends that we know that we're close to it and see what they think. And
yeah, absolutely. Well, hey, let us know what you think about the news of Game Informer returning. You could do that again on all forms of social media at GameMarksPod. But John, please let the people at home know what we are playing next week.
we are going back in time to 2008. and we are playing SmackDown versus Raw 2010.
Ooh.
One of the fan favorites. I don't think we're going to be able to get Justin Leeper for this one. He has. I will try to see if we can get some voice clips or something. But if not, we have the whole interview with him from year one of the podcast, and we're gonna link that in the description of this one, so you guys can get ready for SmackDown vs. Raw 2010. And I'm very excited for this one.
Man, this is on a lot of consoles. The DS, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, the PSP,
DS.
Wii, Xbox 360. Man.
Wow.
Woo.
All right.
A lot of options here, man. But guys, as always, you can check out all of the video content that me and John are making over on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/GameMarksPodcast. You could get our exclusive merchandise in two places. First is podexchange.shop. That is PODXCHANGE.shop. That is merchandise for this store or this show, as well as Going Postal. That's Hornswoggle or Swoggle. And then we, of course, have a pro wrestling tee store, prowrestlingtees.com/GameMarksPod. That's all of the shirts that John and I have designed over the years. Of course, I'm going to say it for a third time, at GameMarksPod on all forms of social media. And if you would be so kind as to like, comment, subscribe, and ring the notification bell on the video versions of this podcast on YouTube, and interact with all the posts on social media. It helps out the podcast a lot. But yeah, John, that is going to do it for this episode, this playthrough of a game that has been on the list since day one. Fire Pro Wrestling 6 Men Scramble. Whenever you are ready, sir, do that thing.
Game over. Marks.
Game Marks Podcast, put them on the radar. Playing rare games, Sega Saturn, no game shark. Johnny and George work hard and they play hard. Future endeavor games and put them in the graveyard. From the deep dive to the clash at the feast. How can I get more? That's question of the week. Follow on Twitch, there's nothing that they won't play. Game Marks Podcast every single Monday.